This is Right to Life Radio with John Gerardi on Power Talk 96.7 and AM 1400, a production of the Right to Life of Central California. And now, here's your host, John Gerardi.
All right, Jonathan and I are digging into what the California legislature is doing. We do these shows every so often to kind of give you an update on what insanity they are up to with the various kinds of bad pro-choice bills, and to let you know that, hey, you should contact your state legislators and try to have an impact on the process because we got some really bad bills. We got some really bad bills that are going to have committee hearings this upcoming week, and these are bad, and they will do bad things. They will further abortion. Jonathan Keller from California Family Council here with us.
You might say you got trouble, my friend.
We got trouble.
Trouble right here
in
the capital city.
Trouble with capital T.
That's right.
That rhymes with P, and that stands for pro-choice.
That's right. There you go. There you go.
I brought it home. All right. So let's talk about some of the bad stuff that is before the state legislature. So
the biggie.
The biggie. Let's talk about the biggie.
SB 245.
Now, this is a thing that it sort of annoys me that the state of California, and I get the way in which it breaks a new barrier, and therefore you would want to have more of opposition to it. But, for example, the state of California, the year it legalized physician-assisted suicide, let's say. Physician-assisted suicide is terrible. Physician-assisted suicide deserves all the condemnation in the world. There are a lot of people, though, who put more effort into stopping physician-assisted suicide than they would into some bill that just expands abortion funding, and that might actually result in more people dying. And one of those unsexy pieces of legislation that is just going to result in more people getting abortions is SB 245.
Yes.
It's not particularly noteworthy. It's not particularly sexy. It's not particularly interesting. It's not particularly groundbreaking. But what it does is horrible. What it does is basically shift costs around throughout the state to shift costs for insurance companies, shift costs as far as what we, the California taxpayers, will be shouldering, to basically eliminate any out-of-pocket expenses for abortion for anyone with insurance. And that includes anyone on Medi-Cal, and basically any pregnant women who don't have insurance qualify immediately for Medi-Cal. So what this is doing, what SB 245 is doing, is basically saying no out-of-pocket costs for abortion. No deductible, nothing for abortions for anyone who has any insurance in California.
Let me read this, John, just from the actual bill itself. The bill would prohibit a health care service plan or an individual or group policy of disability insurance that is issued, amended, renewed, or delivered on or after January 1st, 2022 from imposing a deductible, co-insurance, co-payment, or any other cost-sharing requirement on coverage for all abortion and abortion-related services. It would also prohibit them from imposing utilization management or review on coverage of abortion services. It would require that if it's a high deductible plan, it only applies once. And then it goes on to even say, because violation of this bill by a healthcare service plan would be a crime, it imposes a state-mandated local program. So, John, in other words, it literally makes it illegal. It's not just, well, this is a bad idea. Well, it is going to be illegal. Starting with what we saw in 2014, the state of California already said, the Department of Managed Healthcare said, Weldon Amendment be damned. Federal government, we don't care what you say.
Every insurance plan in the state has to cover abortion. And now beyond that, and that was the California Department of Managed Healthcare. That wasn't even that was not even a piece of legislation that was passed. That was just a letter that the California Department of Managed Healthcare sent to every insurance provider saying all insurance plans in the state have to cover abortion. And now, if this legislation passes, it would additionally mean that every insurance plan in the state of California has to cover abortion with no out-of-pocket costs.
And it would codify this exact thing that is making its way through the courts, because our friends at Alliance Defending Freedom have been suing over this. They've been suing on behalf of several churches in the state that have said, look, we're faith-based institutions. We do not believe that our not only our tax dollars, but specifically our tithe dollars, the money that our parishioners, our church members give to help support the salaries of our children's ministers, for example.
Yeah. or to our community of Catholic nuns or whatever it is, we shouldn't have to pay for abortion as part of our health insurance plan.
Yeah. And you notice the way that they do this, I'm assuming, John, I could be wrong on this, but the way that they talk about it, it sounds like it says healthcare service plan. So I wonder really if this would even apply to individual groups or entities that self-insure their own employees.
Right.
I mean, would they be